nous y revoilà. Hop, directement pour la suite. Attendez, je lance tout comme il faut. Donc, la dernière fois, je dirais la dernière fois pour ceux qui ont regardé les diffusions, mais pour ceux qui étaient là. Bon. La dernière fois, on avait fait l'aventure avec le seau, à peu près tout ce qu'on pouvait faire avec le seau. Enfin, je pense du moins. Donc cette fois-ci, je vais faire les autres fins que je n'ai pas fait avec le seau. Je vais essayer aussi de trouver des statues. Des petites statues de... Et ça, faudrait que je le fasse, mais sans suivre la ligne.
No destination, still a story. Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Ah, c'est pour ça que vous avez mis la musique avec le seau, putain. On a mis très fort la musique, hein. J'ai l'impression que c'est super fort. Ah, il a mis la musique tellement fort.
Wait, cut the music.
Ah, merci.
And look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Dans les moindres feuilles. Moindre détail. Screenshot de la feuille. Ok. On peut y aller.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. You do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Non, regarde, on n'est pas vraiment revenu dans le bureau. Pas revenu dans le bureau.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Restart.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Oh, la porte 437.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley
forging a new path,
a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Je veux pas que je lui accorde de l'attention, mais... Ok. Si je peux tourner le chemin de la ligne, je ne suivrai pas la ligne. On écoute le narrateur. Et on est parti. Ok, elle est partie. On peut reprendre l'aventure, narrateur.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere. Which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes,
Oh,
then
oui.
by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh,
Moi, c'était la même
hold up,
porte.
what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me
17
that's what this is? It's all one giant ending?
Bienvenue
And
dans
we're
la salle de
supposed to
maintenance,
restart the
dans la
game
salle des écrans, numéro de relance
eight
le jeu, premier des
times?
redémarrage.
That's really how all this goes?
Numéro de relance le jeu,
It's
bureau.
all determined?
Trouver une autre voie sans issue.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget?
Tournez
Well,
à
what
la
if I
salle
don't
des
want to
écrans,
forget?
sans vous tirer vers des
My mind
directoires
goes
vierges.
blank simply
Retrouvez la
because
ligne.
it's written here on
Le
this,
programme de la fin
this
tremblante.
thing.
Narrateur relance le jeu 5e
Wall.
démarrage. Le narrateur oublie qu'il a déjà
Well,
relancé le jeu.
who consulted
On essaie de
me?
suivre l'histoire,
Why
mais il n'y a
don't
rien
I get
empêché
to
de faire aller nulle
decide?
part, ni de faire quoi
Why
que ce soit.
don't
Le jeu se
I get
relance
a
tout
say
seul.
in all of this?
Trouver la
Is
ligne,
it
commencer
really?
à suivre la ligne, trouver une réplique parfaite
No,
du
it
bureau qui
can't be.
commence à se dégrader,
I
essayer de
don't want it
recréer
to
une
be.
histoire ici.
I don't want the
Narrateur
game to
relance le
keep
jeu.
restarting.
Il n'y a pas
I
de
don't
bureau,
want to
seulement un
forget
espace
what's
noir
going
aéré dans les
on.
ténèbres. Trouver une
I don't want to be
librairie
trapped like
s'ennuyer,
this.
partir, le
I
narrateur relance
won't
le jeu, narrateur est
restart
parti
the
au bout
game.
d'un
I
moment.
won't do
Ça
it.
ne me...
I
Oh merde,
won't
c'est
do
horrible.
it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Ah non, il a relancé le jeu, mais il s'en souviendra plus. C'est ça.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Ok, non, on
missed a
prend pas le
memo.
saut. Non, on prend pas le saut, on prend pas le saut.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Puis quoi, on va à droite, on retourne dans la salle de maintenance.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door
Donc
on
là, on
his
va
left.
faire l'histoire de la ligne, mais sans
And so
suivre
he
la ligne.
detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. He didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Il m'a vraiment empêché d'y aller, quoi.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
Allez,
It's clearly...
allez, narrateur.
Oh dear, would you
Là,
hold
on
on
retourne
for a
à
minute,
la situation de la ligne. Après, je dois encore faire la fin
please?
où j'y vais sans le saut,
Right,
où j'appuie
left,
sur
down, left, right.
éteindre le mind control, quoi,
Okay,
mais
yes.
sans
I've
le
got it
saut,
now.
sans
This story
le
is
saut.
absolutely, definitely this way.
Essayez de trouver surtout les statues là, les petites statues.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
Ok, on ferme les yeux, on ferme les yeux.
To get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off
Il y a
track.
combien d'employés?
Okay.
600... Il y a 600
From the
employés.
top.
C'est ce que je voulais voir. Là, on recommence.
All
Bon,
of his
après plusieurs
coworkers
fois,
were gone.
ça va péter
What
en
could it
plomb.
mean? Stanley decided to
Et
go
là,
to the meeting room.
on va
Perhaps he had simply
devoir ne
missed a
pas
memo.
suivre la ligne. On l'a suivi. Mais maintenant on va devoir ne pas la suivre.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, Did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the
Non, j'ai rien
monitors?
fait, je touche
Did
à
you
rien, c'est pas moi,
move
j'étais
the
pas là.
story somewhere or a... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
Attention, ça va être très inintéressant. Du, 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 du. Du, 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 du. Du, du. Du, 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 du. Allez, dis-le. Dis-le, narrateur.
I'll say it. This is
Voilà.
the worst adventure I've ever been on.
Dis-le.
I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Allez, donc là on revient.
All
Ça
of
va
his
encore être
co-workers
détraqué
were
normalement.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be
Yep.
remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Est-ce qu'on a loupé quelque chose? Je connais déjà la réponse.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our
On revient au moment
steps.
où il y a la ligne et qu'ils nous disent que ça va être
Now
simple,
this-
faut juste suivre la ligne et
Well,
nous on
I'll
va
be
pas le
honest,
suivre.
I don't
Pour un
recognize
peu
this
ce
place
que
at
ça veut
all.
dire.
Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Non, je m'en souviendrai du
Well,
tout.
you know
en fait.
what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Ouais.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Good job.
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all.
Allez, redémarre,
We
redémarre,
both
redémarre.
know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Redémarre et mets la
Some
ligne.
people win fair and square.
Redémarre et
And
mets
this
la
is
ligne.
not one of those situations. Okay, I'm
Allez,
getting weirded out by whatever this
allez.
place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Voilà. Et là on ne suit pas.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? No, I'm down. We're living it up to the line from now on.
Ah non. Bah tu sais quoi, à chaque fois que je peux partir, je ne suivrai pas la ligne. Donc là on va devoir suivre un peu la ligne, mais... Ok, bah, peut-être pas par là. Mais...
You
Bien...
see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Nope. Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still
Ah
a
mais
story?
chier là, je suis obligé en
Simply
fait.
by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such
Ah.
that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself?
Quoi?
Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is
Attends,
in
je suis
fact
tourné en rond
a
là.
byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
Ah, j'ai
Okay.
tourné en rond.
Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the
Parce que de
skeleton
ma
of
propre
my own
construction
relative
subjective mentale
experiential mental subjective
et empirique
construct?
relatif.
Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now
Non,
is a
non,
bit of
non,
music
non,
to lighten
non,
the mood.
non, non. Eh merde. putain, je suis obligé de la suivre en fait. Chier, je pensais qu'il y avait des chemins que je pouvais juste ne pas la suivre. Oh, c'est hyper fort, hein, c'est un musique de merde.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
Bon, je ferai pas demi-tour.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Still missing the doors. Did we make a mistake following the line? Perhaps we could have found the story on our own.
Ah, j'ai obligé de la suivre en fait, cette ligne à la con de merde. Ah, elle nous ramène là. Elle nous ramène là, je veux pas la suivre. Non. Je ne veux pas. Je vais me renfermer dans mon bureau là. Mais bon, on m'avait tous saoulé. Donc y a pas d'autre fin en fait avec la ligne. Un peu déçu. Un peu déçu. Je pensais qu'ils auraient fait un truc, en fait on suit pas la ligne. Il nous dit je ne comprends pas, c'est pourtant simple de suivre une simple ligne. Mais non, apparemment même pas.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ah, c'est facile, on va faire les... Mais pourquoi? Ah, c'est moi qui peux ouvrir et fermer la porte, putain. On va pas prendre le saut, non, on va faire les fins... La vraie fin, enfin, je pense, du moins.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
Celle
left.
qu'on n'a pas fait, celle d'aller... de faire ce qu'il nous demande, hein, jusqu'à la fin, du moins. Bonus stuff. C'est vrai qu'il faudra qu'on s'y attelle, hein, c'est... Ah, du coup, sans le saut, qu'est-ce qu'il nous dit là-dedans?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Et pourtant...
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
FA!
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending?"
Ah non, c'est encore bugué mes sous-titres.
Broom closet ending was my favorite. I hope your friends find this concerning.
Non, en gros, il a juste dit, quand vous parlez à vos amis, il vous disait que la fin avec le placard emballé...
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs.
Accro à la drogue. Ah, ça vient là. Accro à la drogue, oh putain, ça vient de là. Oh putain. Ah, mais je pense avoir pas compris ce qui se passait. Plus en vie.
You're dead. You got to this broom closet,
explored the bit,
and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical melody of some
sort
and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Tu vas dire quelque chose ou Parce que là, il va penser du coup que je suis quelqu'un d'autre.
Ah, second player. Good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of insects. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can handle fish, fungus. Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Oh mec, c'est incroyable. On va attendre un petit peu. Peut-être qu'il va dire joueur numéro 3. J'attends. Attends, si là je sors. Il a l'air de plus rien dire. Hein. Je pense qu'à mon avis il va dire quelque chose, mais quand on aura dépassé ici.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh. Pourquoi je... Ah, c'est parce qu'on avait le saut qu'on pouvait pas aller là. Y'a pas une petite statue ici si je passe par là? Bref.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the key behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 284. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Et quoi d'autre comme trophée? Terminer le jeu, test trophée description, terminer Stanley Parable en moins de 4 minutes 22.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Curseur dans le réglage, je vais passer à la pendant 10 ans. What? Bon, on n'aura pas le platina de ce trophée, je vous le dis, je vous l'assure. Pas de platine pour Stanley Parable.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Donc ça, sans le saut, on n'y avait encore jamais été. Sans le saut, on avait toujours été avec le saut. Est-ce qu'on voit la... Ah oui, regardez, c'est là-haut.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Donc là, en même temps, on redécouvre un peu les dialogues, mais du coup, sans le saut.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Let's go, hein, let's go. Est-ce que sans le saut, du coup, j'ai accès
This mind control facility, it was
à...
too
En fait, que je
horrible to
d'appuyer sur les
believe it
4
couldn't be
boutons, quoi.
true.
Parce que
Had
bon, je ne
Stanley
peux
really
pas.
been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
C'est pas où encore? C'est pas.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled
Non,
with
c'est
emotions.
fermé! C'est fermé!
Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Bon,
And as the
bah,
cold reality of
clairement.
his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
Qu'est-ce qu'on a sorti?
Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine.
Oui.
Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Pas un autre couloir. Bon, on y va.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Terminer le jeu. Attendez, je vais mettre un peu. J'ai 10 trophées sur 12. Test trophy, replace 10. Je vais rester indépendant pendant un mardi. What the fuck? J'assieds tous les curseurs de réglage de menu sur tous les chiffres disponibles. Donc je vais passer un indépendant pendant 2 ans. Ok, super. Pour tous les chiffres possibles. J'ai bien compris le trophée, c'est ça que je dois faire. C'est un peu démesuré, non? Ta 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 ta. Ta 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 ta.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Ta 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 ta.
The story of a man named Stanley.
Ta 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 ta.
This is the story of...
La 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 la. Genre à peu près. Ah, champion du monde de paramétrage. Par contre, je suis curieux de savoir
This
si
is the
j'éteins la
story
voix
of a
du
man
narrateur
named Stanley.
et que je joue le jeu. Oh merde! Non, ça ne fait rien. Par contre, le curseur, s'il vous plaît. Oh, il est encore un peu grand, hein, putain. Qu'est-ce que je fais? Merde, j'ai oublié de...
Stanley. Trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Oh?
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent.
Attendez, si je recommence le jeu. Et que je vais voir le même PC.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Oh, il y a une histoire avec les PC là.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
C'est lequel? Bah,
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
mon propre PC?
co-workers.
merde! C'était peut-être mon propre PC. Alors, j'ai loupé un truc.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Merde alors.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
Ah tiens, si je reste plus longtemps ici, il va commencer à dire quoi? On se souvient un peu quelques phrases, mais c'est pas comme l'autre où on est vraiment stressé beaucoup plus longtemps.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered
Ça, on
on
s'en souvient.
creepy
Ça, on s'en
and
souvient.
reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left. Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Donc il y avait vraiment plus rien maintenant. Ok.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh, c'est par là. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now
Ouais.
I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies.
Ah,
What do
bah,
you
c'est même
think,
pas ce que je
Stanley?
préférais.
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Ah, arrivez-vous en passant par là. What the fuck?
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Ah, il a carrément relancé le jeu.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Je vais aller voir dans le bureau du patron, peut-être qu'il y a la suite. Peut-être que les autres PC se trouvent plus par là-bas.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Il y a un truc où on pouvait passer par une fenêtre, mais ça se trouve c'est avec les PC. Ça, je parle de ça, c'est il y a des années, des années. Just tell us something will happen. Planter un objet sur un appareil de creux de face. Get to the spot one, ah, c'est vrai qui a pris la photo de ça. L'enclos pour vide, pas employé. We can do it. Ouais, do. Rouge, une pièce rouge. Dans une pièce rouge. Good luck. Une pièce rouge.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ah bah voilà, une pièce
You're
rouge.
getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Et plus qu'une figurine, les gars. Ok, donc en fait le panneau nous dit... Ah, bah ça s'est fermé, donc ce sera pour une prochaine fois. Je vais voir si je peux pas les cliquer sur les PC, les petits PC. Let's go! Oh putain, incroyable! Allez, on relance le jeu.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Là, ça tourne encore à gauche, sans plus de raison apparente. Putain, c'est pas dans les PC ici, où est-ce qu'il pourrait y avoir des PC? PC du patron? Attendez, on repart à gauche. C'est incroyable, hein.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alors qu'est-ce qu'il va nous dire? Ah non, on l'a déjà. Fingley. On l'a déjà, on l'a déjà. On va voir
Coming
que
to a
du coup, comme on a
staircase,
relancé,
Stanley walked
comme on a redémarré le
upstairs
jeu.
to his boss's office.
Non, c'est bon, ça l'a bien compté quand même. C'est pas parce qu'on a redémarré le jeu. On va monter. Peut-être que le PC du patron, pas celui de la secrétaire, mais celui du patron. Du patron. A peut-être quelque chose à nous. Il a pas de
Okay,
PC.
I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Ah, on aura le cul. On a marre d'être narrateur, MDR.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Il en a marre, le mec, je pense.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Attendez, mais il y a des PC ici. Ah, c'est pas des vrais PC, je suis grave déçu.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them,
Oh, comment j'ai fait ça?
monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours. So here you go. New content. You can call it
Ah, de
the
la fin de
bottom of the mind control room ending. If
Là,
that
je pensais pas que je
enhances
pouvais
your
vraiment. J'ai vu que
perception
je
of
pouvais
the
monter sur
value
le
of
bureau,
these
je me suis dit, bah
updates,
tiens,
isn't
non,
that
je
what you
peux vraiment
crave?
passer par-dessus et
New
je vais
content?
foncer.
Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've
Je
Made
vais
It to the
arriver, je
Bottom
crois.
of the Mind Control
Bravo.
Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control.
Elles sont vraiment péchées sur la musique, quoi.
Jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. The railings don't mean anything.
Putain, ils sont chauffés là.
You did it. Good job. 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 You did it.
Incroyable.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Ah bah. Plus qu'un. Ah bah voilà, regardez, attendez. Ah bah voilà. Voilà, c'est ça que je parlais.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its
Regardez là, parce que sinon
examination of
Ouah,
structural
ouais.
narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't
Bah,
this
bien
a
joué.
fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
On a marre de cette blague. Non.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to
On va essayer de
stop?
s'arrêter.
Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place.
Ouais, pas faux.
Now, think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected Continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Ah, genre, c'est vraiment. Il me laisse là, quoi. Même pas, il redémarre le jeu. Même pas, il redémarre le jeu, vraiment. Attendez, on revient là, on va revenir là. Dans le mien, je savais plus comment on faisait, mais j'avais vu super longtemps, vraiment dans les débuts du jeu, on pouvait aller. Le téléphone sonne.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Ok, bon attendez, on y retourne, on y retourne.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
On dit oui.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Oh, c'est un bâtard. Oh, stylé, 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 stylé.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
J'ai tenu jusqu'au bout. Bon, je pense que c'est tout. Ah bah pas de PC.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
C'est pas ça que je veux.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Ah, est-ce que je dois pas aller au truc qui était disable là avec... Ok, faut que j'aille à la fin.
When
Oh,
Stanley
là-bas.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Faut que je fonce à la fin. À la fin, à la fin, à la fin, à la fin. Oh, mais attendez. Nos buckets, ça je sais où ce que c'est. Et ça, c'est avec une cheminée, des trucs comme ça. Ça on l'a, ça on l'a, ça on l'a. Ok, il faudra que je me penche là-dessus en fait. Ah mais putain, c'était écrit ici en fait. Somewhere boss red and blue. Quelque part entre le rouge et le bleu. Je sais ce que c'est avec les portes rouges et bleues, là, quand on saute de la plateforme et qu'on
Coming to
ne
a
fait pas
staircase,
confiance.
Stanley walked upstairs to his
Blablabla,
boss's
blablabla,
office.
blablabla, voilà. Je vois ce que c'est, on va aller la chercher juste après.
Here's the door, just go.
Putain, c'est excellent. Elle est là, vous pouvez y aller. C'est génial. Même là, ils ont fait plein de trucs différents par rapport au nombre de fois que tu relances. C'est juste
Stanley
incroyable.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Bon, c'était encore plus marrant si même là tu sentais que sa voix était un peu détachée en mode ouais, donc il arrive à Mind Security.
The lights rose.
Ah mais même à partir d'ici en fait tu peux y aller. D'accord.
What horrible secret did this place hold?
Je glitch à travers les chaises, moi. Je
Thought to
vois pas la
himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Sur le dernier PC maintenant il a mis une pute recifise sur le bleu.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking,
Non, il y a encore un PC en fait que je trouvais, je
monitored and
pense.
commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again.
Fais chier, fais chier. Il y a encore un PC à trouver peut-être avant d'y aller.
Gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Attendez, on va faire... J'ai trop de trucs à faire encore, je vais chercher la statue. What the fuck? C'est... D'accord.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was
Pas
not
encore
the
arrivé,
gateway to the
c'était
meeting
pas encore
room,
arrivé
and Stanley knew it
ce couloir en
perfectly
plus
well.
là.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was
Ah j'ai pas le
okay.
temps là, j'ai pas le temps, ferme-la.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting? What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove. And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Stanley, this is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here, and now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
On a que j'arrive à retourner dans la maison des souvenirs,
Now
là, je sais plus
listen
comment on
carefully,
fait.
this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did.
Ah, c'est vrai
And
qu'il y
in
a
the end,
là...
it was all for
Ah
nothing.
putain,
Because
il faut
this
que
is what you wanted to
je
see.
passe par les autres portes
Help me
aussi.
here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new
Ah,
design.
c'est pas par là que je vais dans la
Give me
maison
some
des souvenirs?
feedback. There we go. A third
Attendez, je pense que
option.
c'est peut-être par
This
là.
already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that speaks to you. If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so let's keep this party train rolling. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Il a pas kiffé hein, que je dise non, apparemment, je pense.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right,
ouais.
and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Oh, c'est horrible. Putain... On va laisser crever, hein.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
Ah oui, oui. Ah non, attendez, je vais peut-être aller... Ah merde, attends, on a essayé.
Seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there. Oh, no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing. Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun. Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you.
Ah non, c'est une fin aussi, fait chier. Les backrooms. Oh dommage, j'aurais pu être ici, là le PC que je dois appuyer dessus, fait chier.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story,
Et je vais
well,
voir sur mon
perhaps he's
ancien live
gotten
comment
it,
est-ce que j'avais fait pour
down
aller.
in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Comment je fais pour aller à la maison des rêves? Hop, 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 hop.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but
Quoi?
I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory
Ah
zone?
bah parfait
I
mec,
would
c'est
love
exactement là où je
nothing
voulais y
more
aller
than to
mec.
revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Incroyable. Bah c'est là où je voulais aller, donc ça tombe bien. Non, remembering, moi c'est quand ça a trouvé les figurines.
Ah, here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
7. 7 sur 6, c'est tout à fait normal. Ah, la deuxième figurine.
And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them,
Ah,
let
okay,
alone
c'est
6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
La troisième c'est juste après.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini stand?
Ah bah
Can
c'est
you
juste
remember?
après, c'est là. Ouais, je m'en souviens pas.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, behind the boss's office. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Ah ouais?
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Ouais, pas vraiment. What the fuck? La zone des souvenirs est un peu corrompue. C'est pas celui-là, c'est que j'ai trouvé en...
This was the 5th mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was under the stairs. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Ah putain. Oh le montage. Oh c'est... By narrator, musique by narrator, magic par le best by narrator, starring Stanley.
takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that
Oh!
video, but it was
Bah, ça, non.
8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Et bon, nous ensuite. Ah, la dernière.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figly and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Dun, dun, dun.
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment.
Ah, il y aura une
Nothing left to
présente,
do but
d'accord.
move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Ah oui, d'accord. On a vraiment dit, ouais, allez, hop, tu te casses.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels. Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going, I want more. And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Ah, ok. Il le met en accéléré, d'accord.
Yes, I love that video.
Oh non. Ah là, il va se rendre compte qu'il y a quelque chose de bizarre.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
Ah non, bah, il a juste dit qu'il en avait pas de souvenir, mais c'est une jolie pièce, quoi.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Et la dernière de toutes, les figurines. Ah, attendez, si je pars par là. Non. Et pas con, pas con.
This was our second Figly. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it, the very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Ah, si je refais demi-tour, je vais de nouveau choper des figurines. Non, ok, non, il y a l'exit, On s'échappe. On est de retour dans un semblant de pièce.
Want more memories. Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
No.
There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Ah, l'écran de chargement.
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with, well, Came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Et là, on revient au début.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your
Un truc qui
shipment.
m'emmerde un peu là, c'est... Attendez, je vais me renseigner.
Future Happiness Foundation.
Je suis en train de regarder. Hein. Qu'est-ce qu'il est... Attendez, je vous crois que j'ai trouvé des PC.
For instance, number ones that are nice number from 1 to 5. They don't. They are of absolute but point. Night sound that the light from that the sun. Hello, read. This video I will be exploring is the revelation of the Stanley problem. I opened the and find my favorite editor and read the thus I now don't decide it. For instance, number ones that are nice numbers from 1 to 5, they do nothing. They are of absolute whatsoever. They just make a nice sound, moving ahead. Both called broken Anderson. Well, yeah, that's broken. Because next, they go buttons. Reach can show that the combination was incorrect. There are 100 bits in the combination that went right, but not enough, but no combination movements. Additionally, the first button press went for timer start, but the timer expired
Oui.
Then exit their resume here.
Oui.
For a photo, he could look. Stanley decided to go to the meeting. Yes, a set of two either. Perhaps he had. All of his coworkers were gone. Look at me. Stanley decided to go to the meeting. Perhaps he had sent his memo. Stanley looked. He couldn't find a trace of his coworkers.
Ah, je suis con en fait. Attendez, je crois que je suis juste... Putain, je suis juste épi. Ça paraissait logique en plus, hein. Ça paraissait hyper logique en plus. Ah, le paradis de Stanley, d'accord. Ah non, il se rallume. Ok.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
Encore un
mean?
truc qu'il faut que
Stanley
je...
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
On va tenter d'aller voir un peu.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Bref. Bon, je pense qu'on va s'arrêter là. Parce qu'on a fait assez de Stanley. Je vais essayer de me renseigner peut-être sur des autres fins ou des trucs comme ça, mais peut-être que je les ferai en live, je vais me renseigner un peu sur des trucs que j'aurais loupé. En tout cas, si ce live vous a plu, n'hésitez pas à aller liker, à vous abonner si c'est pas déjà fait, à activer la cloche de notification pour être toujours au courant des prochains lives. Bon, on vous dit ciao.